I bet right now there's an agent in your marketplace that pops into your mind and they are beating you this month. Not next year, this month. It's because they're doing three things with Claude every single morning. That's even before they even check their email. And guess what, guys? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what those three things are, and none of them are what you think they're going to be. Now, I bet you probably think that AI in real estate kind of means you're going to be either like set up Claude or Chat or, Gemini or Grok or pick your AI and goes like, okay, follow my leads by text messages or doing some mundane task, right? Well, it doesn't. It means you stop being your own personal unpaid assistant. Thank baby Moses on that one. So you can actually have some time left over in the day to do the things you're really good at. You're meant to do, like building personal relationships, popping by and saying hi to somebody, making a phone call, happy birthday, happy anniversary, how's life, haven't seen you, let's get coffee and lunch. Being a human is what I'm saying. Okay. The other thing I have sneaking through my head that I think you guys are doing is that you're believing a false reality that the agents who are really winning with this, they're just trying to sound really smart online. They're not. Okay, well they are, but they're not. But what they're really doing is they're killing 2 hours of paperwork. Think about this: not having to run comps, doing property and MLS property descriptions, looking at the behaviors of the market, tracking your competitors, downloading MLS data, putting it into a mapping program where you can then understand and look at what happens into the market in a real time format. So you can see it move like a living creature and who is getting what part of the marketplace, what areas are actually selling faster than others. Why is that? What type of properties are there? All kinds of data lives there, right? That's how you can use it. But here's the other one. This one always gets me. And then when we're not doing that's the part about this one is that every guru, and yes, I've done the same thing for decades and eons. We've all bought their courses and then we were told to memorize their scripts, right? But these scripts they have good baselines, but they're basically archaic at a certain level. And with Claude, specifically, you can go in and you can get a script made for you, custom for you in like 10 seconds, and it doesn't cost a stinking penny. One of the things that I actually thought about and I really dove into about this for my newsletter that I send out is that I said, I'm no longer going to be boring and I want to give agents the real speaking opportunity. So I made something with Claude, and every day it delivers to me. I take an article and we do trending. We look at all the trending articles. We hijack all of their click-through rate analysis, and we say, okay, this article, this content, let's make a brief description of the article, and then give me scripts for the article. So let's say it's oil prices or something right now in this day and age. Well, I can then get scripts for buyers, sellers, renters, and investors, all talking about the pros and cons based upon the real-time article. It is absolutely a game changer. Okay. So if you haven't done that, let's look at some options how we can really make this thing pay off for you guys and make, this AI sing for you. So think about this. Every single morning before you check your email, have Claude draft an MLS description, have it draft up follow-up text from yesterday's calls, and then do a summary of all the new listings in your farm area, right? Those three tasks are done before you even finish coffee or whatever variety pack in there that you want to do, right? Another one you could possibly do is, before you go on listing appointments, feed into Claude the address of the property, three to five comparable sales, and then come up with two to four, seller objections, and then have responses drafted specifically for those objections. So that you walk in there not guessing, but fully prepared for these conversations. And then the last one that's just popping off that really kind of jumps off the screen to me right now is, and we talked about it a second ago, but stop paying for the script courses and templates. Use Claude to create scripts, and you can do it in your own verbiage, in your own language, like how you speak, your tonality, your dialect, your speech patterns. You can have it so you don't sound like a robot. Imagine that. An agent doesn't sound like a robot. How cool would that be, right? But this brings me all the way back to a great book, The E-Myth Revisited. Michael Gerber, I always say his name wrong. He brought up something that I've talked about for years, and it's working in your business and then working on your business. So what we just talked about is working in your business, that grunt and that grind, the boring stuff. We can take that off the table so that you can just work on your business. So Claude works in, or so AI works in your business, the minutia, right? You get to work on your building it, scaling it, expanding it, whatever you want to do with it, you can work on it. Trust me, it's going to be a life changer. Try it. So the agents, we're going to go back to this. The agents that are pulling ahead of you this month, they aren't smarter than you. They just stopped doing the really boring shit that all of us sit there and say we have to do because this is how the old guys and gals did it. Cut it out. You don't think that they would be using AI back in the day if they had the chance? They would. The end of story. So, you know what? Do this. Put it in the comments down below. What is the one repetitive task that in your real estate business right now that AI could take off of your plate? Tell me. Let's talk about it. You might have an idea that I've never even thought of. So anyway, guys, put it down below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a blessed and powerful day. Bye.